All right, we need to talk about a huge change for anyone who's even thinking about studying in Australia. It's called the new genuine student requirement, and if a student visa is part of your plan, well, the rules have just been rewritten. Let's get you up to speed.
So, if you're raising your hand right now, you absolutely need to listen up, because any information you had last month or even last week is probably out of date. The whole game has changed.
And look, this isn't just some minor update. As of March 23rd, 2024, the very foundation of how you apply for a student visa has shifted. The old rules are out and a brand new framework is in.
So, let's get right into the heart of it. What exactly is this new genuine student, or GS, requirement? And, why does it matter so much to you? For years and years, it was all about the genuine temporary entrant rule, the GTE. You basically had to prove that you planned to leave Australia right after your studies. Well, that's gone. The new genuine student, or GS rule, completely flips that around. Now, your main job is to prove that your number one reason for coming to Australia is to genuinely study.
And here it is. This is the absolute game changer, straight from the Department of Home Affairs. For the first time, the government is officially saying, hey, we know that studying here can be a path to staying here. This is so much more than a rule change. It's a massive shift in their whole way of thinking.
Okay, so you get the new philosophy, but how do you actually prove you meet this new standard? Well, it all boils down to a new set of very specific questions you have to answer right in the application form.
Your whole application now comes down to telling a clear story across these 4 areas. First, they want to know about your current life, your family, your community, your financial situation. Then, your why. Why this specific course and why in Australia? After that, the payoff. How is this degree actually going to benefit you? And finally, there's a spot for anything else that helps make your case. Now here's the real challenge. For each of those big, important questions, you get just 150 words. That is it. It's like a tweet for your future. Every single word has to count. There's zero room for fluff. It's one thing to write a great story in 150 words. It's a whole other thing to get a visa officer to believe it's true. So how do you do that? How do you turn your words into solid proof? And that leads us right to our next critical section, because your answers are only as good as the evidence you have to back them up. So let's talk about the documents you need to start pulling together. And just so we're crystal clear, the government has put this in black and white. This quote says everything. If you make a claim that don't provide proof, they're basically going to ignore it. So the lesson here is simple. You have to show them, not just tell them. First up, you've got to prove you're a real student. This means showing them your academic history, your official transcripts, your certificates, all the details of where you've studied before. It builds your credibility from the ground up. Next, what are you doing now? They want to see details about your job, who you work for, what you do, how long you've been there. This is the stuff that helps explain why you need this course to take the next step in your career. And finally, they want to see the bigger picture of your life. Things that show your ties to your home country, family, community, and the financial documents to back it up, like tax returns. This gives them crucial context for why you're choosing to study abroad now. Okay, so you've crafted your perfect answers, you've gathered a mountain of paperwork. What happens when you hit submit? Let's pull back the curtain and see exactly how the case officers are going to look at your application. Basically, everything you've submitted gets judged against these 4 pillars. They're going to weigh your situation back home against your potential here in Australia. They'll dig into whether the course you've chosen really makes sense for you and your goals. And of course, they'll look at your immigration history. A really strong application has to tick all 4 of these boxes. Phew, that was a lot of information, I know. So, to make sure it all sinks in, let's wrap this all up with a really simple, actionable checklist to get you ready. So, here are your keys to success. Number 1, really understand this new mindset. You're proving you're a genuine student, not just a visitor. Number 2, make every single one of those 150 words count. 3, for every single thing you claim, have a piece of paper to prove it. And finally, make sure it all weaves together into one clear, consistent story. So as you get ready to submit your application, this is the one question you need to ask yourself. Is my story genuine? Is it crystal clear? And maybe most importantly, is every single part of it backed up by solid proof? Because with this new system, that is what's going to make all the difference.